29 shrubs that grow in full or partial shade. This medium-sized shrub is covered with lilac blue flowers like those of the sweet pea and many other members of the Fabaceae family. They give off a fragrance that reminds some of Kool-Aid, inspiring the common name of Kool-Aid bush. The leaves are reminiscent of rosemary. It can be trained into a small tree. Alder-Leaved Serviceberries feature spikes of creamy white flowers that appear in April and May. Also known as Saskatoon serviceberry, they produce purple-blue pomes that are edible and a popular wildlife food. Varieties generally offer superb fall color that lasts a long time. This understory shrub is prone to forming suckers or shoots which should be removed to retain shape. Some cultivars will thrive in warmer climates, but native plants are found in zones 5 to 9. The Chinese yew grows splendidly in full shade locations, as well as many other conditions, like cold, heat, and a range of soil types. Like most other varieties of yew, this shrub can be heavily pruned without sacrificing shape. A member of the conifer family, this spreading shrub has dark green, needle-like leaves and fleshy bright red berries. The common boxwood is a favorite evergreen shrub used extensively in landscaping. Dense, dark green leaves can be shaped into topiary and make this shrub useful for hedging, screening and knot gardens. It can grow from 2 to 15 feet tall, depending on the variety. This versatile shrub will tolerate many different types of growing conditions but does poorly in wet soil. The common witch hazel brings winter interest to the garden with small, fragrant, spidery yellow flowers. Several cultivars of this shrub are available today, some with showier blooms that may appear from autumn through early spring and are fully frost-hardy. Medium-sized, this open, upright shrub will benefit with a hard pruning back of new growth shoots in late summer. Many beauty products include extracts from the witch hazel shrub due to its astringent property. The dwarf fothergilla is a deciduous, dense, bushy shrub that will grow in semi-shade. Full sun, though, will bring more abundant tiny fragrant white flowers in early spring. Color carries through into autumn with the dark blue-green leaves turning to a brilliant red. Gardenias are beloved in the southern United States and other warm areas for their fragrant, glossy, white or yellow flowers and dark green leaves. They need humidity or they will falter. In cooler climates, gardenias must be grown indoors and can be maintained with appropriate water and humidity. They can handle full shade in warm locations, but flowering may be affected. Prune after bloom by shortening strong shoots to maintain shape and habit. Glossy Abelia is the result of crossing Abelia chinensis and Abelia uniflora. A semi-evergreen, arching shrub, grandiflora has yellowish-green leaves with darker center and produces white bell-shaped flowers tinged with pink from midsummer to mid-autumn. Shade-tolerant, this shrub will produce a greater abundance of blooms in full sun. Abelias do best against a south or west-facing wall. Heavenly bamboo is named for its resemblance to bamboo plants. This semi-evergreen shrub has an upright growth habit that produces panicles of small, star-shaped, white blooms in midsummer followed by spherical red fruits in warmer climates. It is considered to be invasive in some locations, and extremely difficult to eradicate once established, so check with your local nursery or extension office before planting. It is also poisonous, especially for cats and livestock. Many cultivars of Hydrangea are available today, but two main types persist. Hortensias produce domed, dense heads of flowers while lacecap blooms appear as clusters of flat open heads. Flower color can be altered by adding acid to the soil. pH of up to 5.5 results in blooms in the blue to purple color palette, while more alkaline soil produces flowers in pink to red shades. White flowers remain unaffected by soil type. Deadhead spent flowers and prune older shoots back to the base in spring. Removal of deadwood encourages new growth. This shade-grown shrub requires a sheltered location and moist, peaty, acid soil. Grown for its evergreen foliage, leaves are narrowly oval and bronze in color, maturing to a glossy dark green. Pieris japonica produces drooping clusters of red-budded, deep pink blooms in spring. Several other cultivars produce differently colored leaves and blooms including reds, whites and yellows. This plant is poisonous and you may not want to include it in your landscape if you have children or pets. The flowers on this shrub are much like those of orange trees, both in appearance and fragrance, giving it the common name mock orange. Frost tender at 45°F, the plant thrives in milder climates. Planting against a south or west facing wall in colder conditions will improve survival. Japanese Pittosporum grows in a dense bushy-headed habit and can be pruned to small tree form. Star-shaped white flowers open in late spring, later turning to a creamy yellow. Not all cultivars of Pittosporum will grow well in shade, so be certain to pick the appropriate cultivar for your shade garden. Alpine Currant is a small fruit-bearing shrub, but it is dioecious, so you need both male and female plants for pollination. Both the male and female shrubs produce berries, but the female berries are inedible. Fully frost-hardy, be sure to select a cultivar such as R. laurifolium for shade, as many require full sun. All currants require fertile, well-drained soil. Cut out older shoots and give straggly old plants a hard pruning in winter or early spring. Watch for aphid infestations during wet, humid weather. Caria adds cheer to your garden with its large buttercup-like double, golden yellow flowers which may bloom more than once during the growing season. Gracefully arching branches, oval, sharply toothed, bright green leaves can reach 10 feet in height. Thin out old shoots after flowering. The mountain laurel is the state flower of Connecticut and Pennsylvania. It is poisonous to humans, deer, and livestock. Large clusters of deep pink flowers open in early summer from distinctively crimped, deep red buds. This broadleaf evergreen shrub prefers cool, moist soil in partial shade conditions, such as morning sun and afternoon shade. The flowers of this low-growing shrub are similar to those of true honeysuckle, Lonicera spp, and the plant does belong to the honeysuckle family, Caprifoliaceae. It is prized for its white and golden yellow trumpet-shaped flowers, which are often very fragrant and attract pollinators. Cultivars of the Lonicera family can also produce extensive vines which, along with the shrub, spread rapidly and may be invasive in some area. Check with your local cooperative extension office or agriculture officer before planting. This red buckeye is the state tree of Ohio and can be grown as a tall shrub or small understory tree. Showy panicles of four-petaled dark red flowers appear in early summer to attract hummingbirds to your garden. Also known as horse chestnut, the common name comes from the shiny seeds, called buckeyes or horse chestnuts, that are encased in roughly rounded seed pods. The poisonous seeds ripen in the fall and should not be consumed by humans. The red Tip Photinia results from a cross between Photinia glabra and Photinia cerulata. This evergreen shrub produces small white flowers, but is grown primarily for its leaves, which are red or bronze for several weeks after they emerge, eventually turning green. The blooms are not fragrant, and most gardeners prune the plant to prevent flowering. Skimmia is a true shade plant that grows best in dappled light but can thrive in full shade. You will need both male and female plants to produce the red or white fruit, typically found on female plants. It is a poisonous shrub, due to the alkaloid skimmianin present in all parts of the plant. The berries can cause cardiac arrest if ingested in large quantities. Toyon is also commonly known as California holly or Christmas berry. The town of Hollywood, CA is often said to be named in honor of this shrub, which was found in the area. The shrub's small white flowers lead to red berries that are popular among many bird species as well as coyotes and bears. The berries were traditionally eaten by Native Americans, although they contain a small amount of cyanide, which is removed from the berries when they are cooked. This plant may be pruned to form a small tree and kept as a smaller spreading shrub. Plant in a sheltered-in area in colder climates. Viburnums are an excellent choice for the shade garden, adding four-season color and interest with flowers, leaves, and fruit. There are more than 150 species found throughout the world, most being quite fragrant and providing food and shelter for birds and wildlife. Varieties that do well in full shade include leatherleaf, arrowwood, and mapleleaf. This evergreen shrub is usually planted for its striking leaves. Choose both male and female shrubs to produce the pretty red berries that appear in autumn. Aucuba is poisonous, so it might not be the best choice for gardeners with young children or pets. Azaleas and rhododendrons belong to the same genus, rhododendron, and include both deciduous and evergreen shrubs. While rhododendron range in height from dwarf to tree-like structures, most azaleas are much more compact shrubs of up to 5 feet. There are almost endless varieties of azalea today from which to choose, including cultivars that bloom in spring and again in autumn. All rhododendrons and azaleas feature showy, brilliantly blooms in a full palette of colors. In addition to being shade plants, they also like acidic soil, which is often prevalent in shady areas. Plants are shallow-rooted, so good drainage is essential. Deadhead spent flowers to encourage blooming. Watch for weevils and powdery mildew. As the name burning bush suggests, this shrub features a brilliant red color in the fall. A popular landscape plant, this bush provides nesting habitat for many small birds. The multi-stemmed shrub is dense and twiggy with thick, tough roots, making it extremely hard to remove, so be certain of your choice before planting. You may want to check with your local extension office, as the burning bush is considered to be invasive in some areas. California sweet shrub is a deciduous, bushy plant with aromatic, dark green leaves. A summer bloomer, the shrub produces fragrant purplish-red flowers with multiple strap-shaped petals. Sweet shrub tolerates light shade but will produce better foliage and bloom with some sun exposure. Several different kinds of Chinese tea are brewed from the leaves and twigs of the camellia shrub. The leaves are picked at all stages of development. It can grow to a height of 10 feet tall but is usually pruned to about 3 to 5 feet for easier harvesting. Carol Mackie Daphne features green leaves with a distinct yellow margin. It is a hybrid. Carol Mackie is the cultivar that grows best in partial shade. It has tubular, light pink flowers, but when grown in shade it is favored more for its variegated foliage than its blooms. This evergreen shrub is rounded and well-branched with deep green, oval, asymmetrical leaves. The flowers on this evergreen shrub can be white, yellow, or red, depending on the variety. Blooms appear in late winter and early spring. Half-hardy, the Chinese fringe flower can be grown as a potted shrub in northern climates but should be brought indoors when temperatures fall below 41 degrees F. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos. And please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm.